Hello, everybody. Happy New Year. Hope everybody's doing good. And yeah, Happy New Year. Welcome to 2024. I was in the aviary today. So I had this on, getting some compost out. So that is what I was doing today. Hope everybody had a good first day of the new year. All right. If you are new here, or even if you're not, let us know where you're from, what you're growing, what you hope to grow. And we'll go up to the top, and there's going to be a bunch of hellos and highs as we go because people are already here. And somewhere in the middle, there will be a topic of discussion, which you guys already know if you watched today's video. Goals. All right, let's get started. Please keep comments family friendly. Scrolling up. PJ's here. First like. Welcome, PJ. Welcome. Joy's here. Got a second one. Happy New Year, everyone. Happy New Year to you. Verna's here. Vase Place. Welcome. Verna is Vase Place. You'll see her in blue with a little wrench, and she catches bad guys. And she raises quail and rabbit in her apartment. So check her channel out if you're interested in apartment stuff. Her apartment homesteading. All right, everybody's saying hi. Verna says today is a chilly day, so I can honestly say the new year is starting out cold. Well, it was pretty warm here today. I don't know how warm, but it was sunny. We get another sunny day tomorrow. Of course, I'm working tomorrow. And then we're going to have a lot of rain. So that's what we're going to do. PJ says a bit chilly today, but not enough to freeze the mud yet. All right, mud pies for everyone, huh? Oh, boy. Hey, Steve. Welcome. Says, greetings to all my old friends in this new year. Absolutely. Brenda says, so true. Just in our bodies. LOL. All right. Everybody's saying hi. Buster says, hey to all. Hello, Buster. Welcome. All right. And Ken says, I just got my notification and rushed right over. Sacramento County. Welcome. Thank you. I'm getting teeth. That is way too full. Okay, I'll deal with it. Thank you. Got some chai tea here. Let me put this down someplace, and then we will continue. My tea was almost ready, and it wasn't quite ready when I started. All right. So, Ken's in Sacramento County. All right. Butterfly, welcome. Greetings from Carpinteria, California, USA. Welcome. Hope you're doing good there. Did you guys get a lot of rain? I think it might have been north of you guys. All right. Everybody's saying hi. And we're caught up with our hellos. Well, welcome. So I hope you guys had something fun to do New Year's. I was here making a video for you guys that you saw this morning. The rabbits were a little freaked out with the fireworks. Gilroy has a lot of fireworks, a lot of the illegal fireworks people just shoot off all the time. And last night was extra special because it was first of the year, or not first of the year, became first of the year. There we go. End of the year. And so I went out several times and checked in on the bunnies. Rigatoni and ravioli, they're fine with those noises, but penne and risotto, they were a little freaked out. And the little boy bunny, little new one, he did not really enjoy that at all. He was stressed, you could tell. So I pet him a bunch and gave him a little extra food. Maybe he's stress eating. So yeah, chickens slept right through it. They don't even care. It's so funny with them. They were out of order though. You know, the chickens, I have 3 chickens. We have Oviraptor, who's the top dog, Rexy, who is middle, and Smilo, who is last. And usually Oviraptor sits in the middle of them, cozied up to Rexy, and Smilo's like banished to the corner. She's way on the other side of the perch. But last night, Rexy was in the middle and Oviraptor was on the other side. So I don't know what was going on. But it is funny to watch them. If you have chickens and you watch them go to bed, it's so much fun to watch. Quail, when they go to bed, they just kind of and go to bed. They might cuddle in with someone, but it's pretty funny. With the chickens, they're pretty funny. So the quail could care less about the fireworks. My quail understand that that's what happens, and they are completely fine with it. Now, if a blimp flies over, they'll be like, but fireworks are they're old hat there. All right. Myrna says, it was bad here. Lucy hid under my desk, trembling. Yeah, that sucks. I wish there was a way that people could celebrate that did not affect people that are negatively affected by these loud noises and booms and all of these, because there's a lot of people that affects negatively. I just get annoyed at it because it happens all the time here. Yeah. So PJ says, Bruce and Julie were here for New Year's. Awesome. Hey, Feather Connections Homestead. Hi, Kelly. Kelly says, hey, Happy New Year, everyone. Happy New Year. Hope your little one is doing okay. Yeah, we're talking about New Year. See how it went with everybody. And if anybody has questions, we can jump right in. Basically, all the animals did fine. They did completely fine. There was some stress with some of the rabbits, but they are fine. They've moved on. Today is a new day. Today's a quieter day, actually. And yeah, today's much quieter. Kelly says, I didn't much notice the fireworks, but we've all been so sick that we just passed out around 8. Might have been a good thing, Kelly. So you're sick now too, huh? That sucks. You guys got to get some better stuff going on over there. Okay, daughter's much better. Awesome. Good. That is good. Hey, Val's here. Welcome, Val. I'm just adding honey to my tea. That's what I'm doing, guys, because I didn't have time to make it before. But now you know what I'm doing. This is still that jar of honey from the local honey. I go through it pretty slow. Mostly for tea, every once in a while for a recipe. But there we go. I got my chai. All right. So Val, how do you celebrate New Year where you are? You celebrated a lot earlier than the rest of us. Yeah. I celebrated by making sure my animals were okay with all the fireworks. Yeah, Kelly says, oh yeah, we all got, you got it too. All got this RSV thing, and now the cough is kind of staying around. Just a lucky head cold now. Or yucky, not lucky. I don't know why I said lucky. Wow. Yeah, my niece got that. They let us know after we left. Like almost a week after we left. So I don't think I was exposed, but if I was, I don't have any symptoms that I would have them by now. So yeah, it's going around for sure. And I know when I went to the doctor recently just for my annual, and I asked about the RSV vaccine because I was going to go and visit them for Christmas, and it's a little baby, and you want to make sure that you're not moving something to the baby. And they said I wasn't eligible. So you have to be like 70 years old or immunocompromised or under the age of, I don't know what. But yeah, I was like, what? You're trying to not get people sick here. Yeah. So Val says, I personally don't. I do the same as you. Yep. Happy New Year to you all. I did stay up to midnight because I was working on stuff, but we used to like watch the ball drop and all of that, and haven't done that in years. I know a lot of people here. my parents went to I haven't heard how it went, but they went to a New Year's party that stopped at 9. They celebrated with the East Coast, with the East Coast. Yeah, that works. Oh boy. Well, you guys aren't very talkative today, are you? You don't have questions yet. Hey, Diana Child Top Farms here. Welcome, welcome. Happy New Year to you. So today I went through and made sure the animals are okay, and we did that last night too, and been working on the quail compost, getting that out of the main aviary, and that is really, really, really it's amazing when you do it. Has anybody here done that? Does anybody here have an aviary that, whether it's quail or chicken or whatever, that you actually get the compost out of? Because it is amazing. It is amazing. Yeah. There's so much that comes out. We did about a fourth of it so far, and we have 8 feed bags of compost. So that's a lot. Kelly says, yeah, none of us fall into the RSV high risk range except me as a type 1 diabetic. But they said a bunch of people got it this year that weren't very older babies. Absolutely. That's exactly why I was asking for the vaccine, because I'm like, I know this is out there. I know this is around there. I wore a mask on the plane. I'm like, you know what? All sorts of sicknesses travel. All right. Verna wants to know what day I bred the new buck. I think it was the 15th. I have it in my calendar. Do I have it in the calendar? I better have it in the calendar. Maybe I wrote it down somewhere else. I think it was the 15th. So that would be, I think it was the 15th. So we're coming up on almost maybe babies soon. Yeah. Sorry, I was looking at my calendar there to answer Verna's question. Yeah. Kelly says, I used to do that with my chicken run, and yes, it is amazing. Now they free range. Yeah, so the free range is good because they get bugs from everywhere, but it is amazing when you look and you're like, I can't fit the compost back into the hole I dug. How does that work? Right? 2 more weeks. Yeah. Hopefully they're pregnant. PJ is asking, what day are we cooking and what are we making this time? So Katrina's Kits is a members only thing that we do once a month. And PJ, I was thinking about, I want to say the 13th, but I want to open up my calendar and make sure that was right. I was thinking about the 13th. That's a Saturday. So far, we've done Sundays. Sundays work really, really well for me. I want to give some people the opportunity to do Saturdays. So, PJ, I think you're the only Katrina's Kit on here so far. Does the 13th, Saturday the 13th at 11 work for you? And if so, we'll just do it. I want to give some people the opportunity to do Saturdays. So Katrina's Kits, if you haven't signed up for that yet and you are interested in cooking or interested in learning how to use the stuff in your yard, out of your yard or out of just cooking, you can buy things and cook them. There is a link that I will put up. And here is that link. That works for you? All right, PJ. Let's pencil it in for the 13th. And if anybody else from Katrina's Kits comes on here, I'll ask for second options. But let's pencil it in for the 13th and go from there. So what are we making? Okay, this is exciting because I am going to be putting out newsletter this week. I'm trying to, if you're not on the mailing list, you can be on the mailing list. It's on the website. So here's the website. And so you will get the newsletter. I also tend to post it. So you can sign up to be on the email list. I also tend to post it in the Friends of Sow and Tare Facebook group. I'm just going to put a bunch of links here. And so I want to work out the recipe that it should be, or approximate it, or tell you guys what ingredients might be. I want to do ravioli, and I have pear butter. I believe I have pear butter. I need to check. And I would like to do pear butter raviolis. And I've had pear raviolis before, and they were really surprisingly good. And I just thought of that the other day, and I'm like, I need to play with some ingredients. I want to do some sort of like little cheese in it, and perhaps like garlic in a sauce. But I have to play with the ingredients before I put that out in the world. But that is what we'll be making. If you want to make other kinds of raviolis, we'll just teach you guys how to make raviolis. I do have a pasta roller thing for my KitchenAid, but it can also be done hand done. We might show how to do that. I've done that as well. And it's really a lot of fun to do it that way. So that is what we're cooking, PJ. And she says here later on, it's so much fun. It is so much fun. It is so much fun. We spend a lot of time together. We talk, we chat, we make things, we eat things, and have a little community time. So there we go. Butterfly says here in Carpinteria, California, South Santa Barbara County, Zone 10, we have had a lot of rain. I thought you might have. Some at the Carp County garden are worried about nutrients leaching out of our winter plants. What do you advise? Yeah, so I talked about that a little bit with, I did a video on, I don't remember what I called it. It was a few days ago, but on soil and compost. I recommend if you are, so back up. Typically people fertilize in fall. That's when Mother Nature fertilizes. That's when things go on the ground and start to decompose, right? That's the typical thing that people do. This year, I'm kind of waiting on that. And I'm thinking fertilizing in the spring is going to be better. You can do both. If you have enough compost to use up and you want to use that mass, you can do both. But that's what I would do, is I would actually fertilize a little bit later. You still want it to be watered in. So like you still want it to be in the rainy season. But yeah, there's a lot of water that's been going through, and that does leach out your compost, which may or may not be a bad thing. If your compost is really hot, then maybe that's a good thing because it's leaching that stuff out. If your compost is not that hot, you're just losing nutrients. So, or losing, components of it. Yeah. That's what I would advise. And the other thing I would advise is to make sure that your beds or soil are draining, because they're good. They drain well. They don't sit and hold water, because if they sit and hold water, they're going to rot anything you put in. I planted peas this weekend and some other things, but I remember there was a year I was like, I'm going to preserve so many peas. And I planted peas everywhere, and I got none, because every single seed rotted because it was so wet. So I think number one, fertilize, do your compost either now and later, or just later. And then also pay attention to what the rainy season is going to be, or what's projected for your area, and plant accordingly. Maybe now's the year to try some marshmallow or some you might think of wetter things. I mean, yeah, that's kind of what I would do. There you go. Ken says, how wide is your chicken perch? Is it round? Do the chickens ever fall off the perch at night? So my chicken perch I have a video about my chicken coop, and it's a very inexpensive chicken coop. I have 3 chickens, so that's going to be a limiting factor for somebody who doesn't have 3 chickens, if they have 12. But I literally have a pallet that had plywood on it, and that's the base. I added legs, I added walls. The walls, if you look at that is my old fence boards from the back. When I moved in, my fence was 5 foot tall, so you could see over the fence, and I didn't like that. So I got new fence boards. And so I made that, and then the top is open air with a 1/4 inch hardware cloth. Doesn't have to be 1/4 inch. I just ordered 1/4 inch by accident instead of 1/2 inch, so I use it there. And then above that is another roof. So basically any heat will rise up and go out. The perch itself is, again, part of a pallet. It was free, and it is about that wide, and it's a square. So they do not fall off. They do not have problems at all. I have a little step for them to jump up on before they go up, and they do just fine. Some birds, that's their resting position, is like this. And I don't actually remember if chickens do or not, but they don't fall off. They're good. Butterfly, this is my first time here. I'm usually working during chats. Awesome. I thought this was your first time here, but I wasn't quite sure. And welcome. I'm glad you're able to make it. And you're always able to rewatch. So that's the good option. But being involved is really, really good. Yeah. All right. Hey, Kelly says welcome. Yep. Yeah, PJ says Katrina's Kids is so much fun. It is a blast. It is a blast. Yeah, you get it with all the commentary you want. Or maybe didn't. All the oopses. All of that. All the outtakes. All right. Val says, chicken perch is 6 inch wide by 1 inch. They like to sit on their feet. Yeah, mine are, I haven't measured it, but it's like that big. But they do good. PJ says, I have pear butter in my freezer. Well, you are prepared. You're prepared. I mean, alternately, I would say the alternate ingredient is canned pears. I mean, you can do the same thing with just pears and mash them up. But if you have not made pear butter, I don't think I have a video on it, but it's awesome. You literally just take the centers out of the core out of the pear, put them in a crock pot them for a long time. There you go. Cook them up a long time, and it becomes pear butter. It's awesome. Val says heavy rain here in UK. You're getting heavy rain. That is not fun. I know there's a whole bunch of places getting heavy rain. I know Japan had an earthquake too. So that's fun. But yeah. Oh yeah, Vernus, the link, I don't know, I'm on StreamYard, I can't tell. But PJ says it's there. Thank you, Verna. Do you compost white paper towels? I don't use white paper towels. You totally could. You totally could. The only paper towels I use are the blue paper towels for the brooder. And actually, before I had quail, that's what I used in the kitchen too. And the only thing I use paper towels for in the kitchen is blotting off the fat off of the hamburger, which I no longer do. But that's what I used to use it for. So you totally could compost it, just like you can compost newspaper. You know, I have worms. I have a worm bin, and we use newspaper or paper or whatever, but we do shred it. I don't think you would have to do that with a paper towel, but we do shred it for them, and it's amazing how fast it disappears. It's yum paper. Butterfly says, thank you. You're welcome. Yeah, so that's what Verna's saying. I think paper towels would be best for the worm farm. And Steve is right behind us. Paper towels do compost. They compost faster if they are torn or shred. Yep. I would not compost the ones used for cleaning. Just wiping out spills and foods. That is a good, yeah, that's a good caveat. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Oh, Manuel decided to log in. Hi, everyone. Happy New Year. He's right there. And everybody's saying Happy New Year. Verna says, I was 12 years old when I made fresh pear butter as an experiment, and it was successful and made you go on a lifelong journey of loving pears, right? That's the rest of the story. You got to have the whole story, Verna. Steve says, hello, Mr. Safety. Oh, boy. Yep. What is pear butter? Oh, my gosh, Val. Val, do you know what apple butter is? That would be the easiest way to tell you. It's the same as apple butter, but you use pears. It is literally just pears. You take the core out, you put the whole thing in there. Some people peel them. I don't. And you, how long do you have to cook down the pears for pear butter? Depends how many pears you have. It is wonderful. So you cook it down to the consistency that you want. So what I did is I put it in a crock pot for, it was like a day. I don't know how long. And then I have an immersion blender. If you don't have an immersion blender and you want to make things that you blend that become yumminess and smooth, I recommend getting an immersion blender. They're not that expensive. They're affordable. And so I would recommend doing that. And then once it's kind of soft and there's lots of liquidy there, you can just immersion blend it. And then, I mean, like you can do just that, or you can add cinnamon. Some people add butter to theirs. In my opinion, you really don't need anything. If you start with good pears, just pears, that's all you need. Yeah. So that's what I recommend. Yeah, so Butterfly says there are a lot of recipes for pear butter. Check them out. Yep. And Verna says chopped pears, a little brown sugar, cook and stir occasionally to keep from burning. I did mine on a stovetop. Awesome. Yeah, I didn't add sugar. Mine were sweet enough, but if you want it sweeter, you definitely can add sugar. Val says, so do you use it like jam and spread it on toast? You can do that. You can put on a lot of things, but yeah, you can use it like a jelly. It's thick and it still has the okay, here's a science word warning. It has sclerids. So when you bite into a pear and you get that kind of gritty crunch, that's sclerids. And it still has some of that, but it's that plus smooth. Does that make sense? It's really good. Really good. Butterfly says, some add spices, sugar, etc. Some simply simmer on the stove. Star anise. So you put star anise. That sounds good. Yeah, and PJ uses it on toast. Yep. Butterfly says, I like to make it plain, then add options according to what I'm eating with. See, that's how I operate typically with canning and with preparing large batches of things, is I typically just make the plain version and then you can add later. Like when I make bone broth, I don't tend to add a lot to it. Apple cider vinegar to add some acidity. But that's it, that and water. And then I can add stuff later, unless I have a plan for it and I know it's going to be soup, or I know it's going to be this or that, then I can do that. And other than that, I don't add, you don't add salt, because hey, what are you going to use it for? If you don't know what you're going to use it for, you don't know if you're going to be over salting things, right? And plus I don't use a whole lot of salt. Berta says, yes, Val, on toast, on ice cream. That was why I made mine. LOL. That sounds good. Val says, thanks, everyone. Now you're going to go find some pears, aren't you? You're a little late on the season, but you might be at the tail end. You might be at the tail end because there are pears that go into storage and then get out on the grocery stores after storage. Manuel says, hi, guys. Hope this year is more safe than last year. Those that don't know, he had a few injuries. Oh, sclerid? Let me look it up on the internet first so I make sure I spell it right. I think that's it. Hey, there it is. Wait. There we go. Here we go. Sclerid. That is... Well, that's off the internet, so hopefully that's right. Yeah, that is what that is. Hopefully spelled right. Sclerid. All right. Hey, my mom's here. Welcome. How'd your New Year's party go? It says just finished dinner. Happy New Year, everyone. Happy New Year. And everybody's welcoming and saying Happy New Year. And then I said sclerid. So we talked about pear butter. We're going to be making raviolis out of pear butter. You can also make them out of pear. And I'm considering adding pumpkin to that list, but I don't know if that's going to be something that actually goes into Katrina's kits or if I'm just going to make it or maybe do a video about it later. But yeah, raviolis are really good. And the rabbit is going to stay outside. She's not in it. She's not, it's in a surprise, guys. Oh, you're welcome, butterfly. My mom says we toasted last night at 9 p.m. Yep, with Eastern time. Buster says Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Yeah. Yeah, so we had quite a bit of rain last week. And then this weekend, no rain. And then this week, coming up on it, we're supposed to get quite a bit. I don't know how much is actually going to come. We've had a lot of storms go a little bit north of us. And it's an interesting thing that's happening. You see that on the radar and it's coming. And then it just kind of goes up. It's kind of weird. Where it says, pumpkin butter. I have not made pumpkin butter, but there's always a first time. Yeah. So, one thing, this is not our topic of discussion, and we're not going to discuss names. Next week, we will discuss names. I want to give you guys a heads up. Our little baby boy bunny, he is going to have a fruit-themed name. His mama is named Pineapple, so that's why I'm going to get off of the Italian foods. Could still be Italian foods if you find a fruit. It's too hard to say, guys. Fruit-themed food. But we are doing that next week, so don't give me names. I'm not going to write them down right now. Oh. Steve is saying pear butter, apple, pumpkin. Now my mind is racing. Yep. And I actually made, I made some, just, you can stir fry anything in your garden. So I made stir fry random one, and I actually put pineapple guavas in it. And I was like, I hadn't ever cooked them and eaten them without it being like jam or jelly or something like that. And it was really good. It was almost like warm pineapple, but different. It was really good. All right. Verna says, if you can imagine it, you can make it. Absolutely. And PJ says, I have pumpkin butter in the freezer too. What don't you have in the freezer, PJ? Val says, we have snow forecast. Hopefully it will be in the north. Yeah, if we get snow here, it's very, very, like, it's there and then it's gone in 3 seconds. My mom's randomly saying tomato. Okay. You want to do something with tomatoes? Or you want to name him Tomato? Tomato is a fruit, actually. I'm not writing these things down. Guys, follow instructions. And PJ wants coconut. Oops, saves for next week. Bergamot is not a fruit. That is an herb. Britta says, yes, Mary, tomato would be good, both fruit and used in Italian cooking. Italian orange? Is it bergamot? Bergamot? I'm going to have to look that one up. Bergamot. I'm going to do that right now. I just forgot. B-E-R, B-U-R. B-E-R. Oh, it's a type of orange. Okay. Okay. We're not doing it yet. Stop. All right. So hopefully you guys were able to watch my goals video. I have some goals for this next year, and last year's goals video was quite a few. What? No. Oh no, my Google skills finally stumped Katrina. Hey, I knew what bergamot is. I just didn't know it was an orange. So last year's video for my goals, I actually wrote down like pages and pages of very detailed notes for goals, and it was going okay, and then it just got overwhelming, and I was like, wait, where am I? And I actually kind of just got lost within the list of what I'm supposed to be doing, or what when was I supposed to do this, when was I supposed to do that. So this year I have simplified my goals, even though they're not simple goals. I have simplified them. So I want to hear some of your guys' goals. One of my goals this year is organization, and I've actually I'm just opening up my goal thing here. One of my goals is organization for like breeding schedules and figuring out sales and all these things, record keeping organization, basically. And I've come to a point with my making in Excel. I'm making a spreadsheet that is actually multiple spreadsheets. So I anticipate that that's going to make it easier and make it go better, and actually have me put things into it would be good. Part of what will make that better for me is to have this on the desktop of my computer. Sometimes when I open the computer and I go to try to find things, I get distracted and go like, oh yeah, I need to work on this. Oh, I was going to do this. I was going to do this. If it's on my desktop, that is something that is simple, that will help me go, oh, this is where it is. Here we go. Let me open it up, put it in, and close it. Well, save, then close. So I want to hear some of your guys' goals, and maybe some of the simple things like that will help you towards that. And if you can't come up with those right now, then maybe we together can come up with some of those things and share how you guys do those. I thought that would be a collaborative, fun thing to do. Val says, I've just listened to your goals. Awesome. And my goal is to write things down and try and remember where I put things. So do you know where you're putting the thing that you're writing on? That's the number one thing, right? But those are good goals. Those are good goals. And it looks like Verna has the same. And my mom says, accountability buddies. Are you volunteering? You want to be my accountability buddy? My mom's in the process of publishing a book. I should tell you that, right? Did I just say something I shouldn't have? Steve says, I can't make goals. Well, I can make them. I just never get around to them. Okay, so instead of goals, think of improvements. You can call them improvements. So things you're already doing that you could do better. Maybe you want to figure out a different way to do your water system or your feed system, or maybe you want to do, some other thing. You want to learn more about something. So maybe improvements should be the word that you're looking for. Val says, I'm forever looking for things that I put in a safe place. Maybe you have an assigned safe place for everything. PJ says, I worked on my first goal today, cleaned my daughter's junk out of her old room. It was years before my parents changed my bedroom into an office. Years. It's okay. Verna says, yeah, so safe, we can't find them. Steve says, my lists are in Excel spreadsheet where I keep my banking, thus everything in one spreadsheet. You can have hundreds of sheets in a spreadsheet. So that is part of what I'm doing, is I actually have one file with several sheets. Here's a tip though. Did you know you can actually also access another file? So if you have something totally unrelated and then you're like, I really would like to put these together and just have a total, then you can do that as long as neither file changes place. So if you have it on a flash drive, it must always go into this drive. If you have it on, in this file and then you move it into another file, it's not going to be able to find it. But you can actually reference in Excel a different file, not just a different sheet. You can definitely reference different sheets, but you can actually reference different files, which is pretty cool. Yeah. My mom says, speaking as a former teacher, don't attack too many goals. 3 broad goals is a good start. Within each of those goals, you could have sub-goals. That is good advice. Good advice. But what are your goals? That's what I'm asking. Thousands Mary, 3 sounds like a lot. Hey, start with 1. Start with 1. Butterfly says, the only way I can complete my entire list is to outsource the list. Hey, if it gets done, right? If it gets done. PJ says, goal for winter, clean out 1 room at a time in the house. When it's nice out and mud is either frozen or dry dry clean out the barn. I thought you were saying dry clean the barn, and I was going to ask how that was going to happen. I don't think they have a washer big enough. Verna says, in my case, I would have 1 goal broken into 3 smaller goals. Yep, I think that's what my mom is talking about. My mom is Mary, by the way, if you don't know that already. She was on here a really long time ago one time. We had fun. And she also says, delegation can be your goal, Butterfly. Yep. But that's another thing to look at is, there's some things that we have to do every day. There's some things that we don't have to do every day. And there's some things that you're never going to do unless you make yourself do them. So take one of those at a time, and don't have to do all of them right now. Just do one and say, okay, I'm going to focus on this one until that one's done, and then move on to the next one. Yeah. PJ says, a big hair dryer to dry barn. I had to rate it a couple times, PJ. Yeah. Steve says, step 1, Butterfly, find your outsource source. There you go. All right. So we have accountability partners. We have smaller goals. We have 1 goal at a time. All right. What other tips do you guys have? So my goals, again, improving record keeping. I am going to get my Learn, Hatch, Grow business off the ground. My goal is February for that. And this is something that I was going to do last year, and then things just got busy. Things are busy this year too already. But Learn, Hatch, Grow is going to be the hatching program, the hatching rental program that I am going to do. Quail University. I am putting together a course for Quail University They already have a 101 course, so I will put that link up right here. If you are thinking about growing quail and you or maybe you're new to them, this is an excellent course to do. You're always welcome to come on here on Monday nights and to the lives and ask questions. But that is definitely, it's a course that's more, it's affordable enough. Most people can afford it, and it is something you have forever. It's a course you take at your own pace, and that is an awesome intro course. It has tons of information. So I will be working with Quail University to produce another course about raising quail in aviaries. So that's going to take a lot of my time. So part of my thing here is time management, right? I'm researching permits for things like cottage foods and stuff like that. I know there's some things that I want to do that I either don't know how to permit or it just isn't allowed in California. So I just have to figure that out and go on there. Get on track with my diet and exercise, get on track with Qigong, learn the basics for electrical, plumbing, and solar. So that is something that I don't need to know how to do it. I don't need to be like an expert in it, but I do want to understand enough that when I have a conversation with people, I know what I'm talking about, and that, yeah, that I can do some simple stuff. And then video creation and editing schedule. So a lot of the times I'm up till 1, 2 in the morning going, oh, I need to finish this thing for tomorrow, and which by that time it's today. And so what I would like to do is to get a week or two out, and then if something is timely to kind of put that in. But so that gives me a little bit more flexibility on doing some things for Quail University, doing some other things. So I would expect over this next year to, if things seem like a little behind, that's because I'm doing that on purpose to give me a little bit more flexibility with my time. And so those are my goals. And I have other personal goals that I am working on as well, but I think those are reasonable goals. They're things that I'm doing already. I don't think there's anything new on there. Let me check. Let me look at this again. Yeah, so the only new thing is to get this hatching program off the ground, which was a goal of mine last year as well. And then researching permits, I'm continuously doing that. So there's really nothing new on here. So these are all improvements. We can think of them as improvements. So there you go. Let me go up here and see what you guys have said. Steve says to PJ, leaf blower to start with 0. Val says, I need to purge each room and throw out all the things I thought would come in handy, but I can't blooming find them. Okay, so here's a tip from one of my coworker friends. He had a rash of time. I don't know if that's a saying or not, but it is now. Where he would say, I haven't used this thing in 3 years. I'm going to throw it away, or I'm going to give it away, or I'm going to sell it. And then like a month later, he would need it. He's like, oh, it would be great. Oh, that thing I threw away. So he has what he calls a faux trash can, faux as in fake, pseudo. I don't know what he called it. Well, pseudo trash can. So a fake trash can that he physically throws it away in the trash can and lets it sit there for, I don't know, a month or two before it actually gets thrown away. So if you are holding on to stuff that you really know that you need to get rid of, but you kind of think you might have an idea what to use it for, that's a good idea to do. It's working for him as far as I know. Butterfly says, more companion planting, plant new types of plants. Awesome. Butterfly, you're in zone 10, so you can plant a lot. You can plant, you could probably plant ice cream bean tree. That'd be yummy. And starfruit. Oh yeah, we're going to get hungry right now. I don't know what types of plants you're wanting to plant. If you don't have a curry leaf tree and you like curry, plant that. There is a whole bunch of stuff you can plant. I'm in zone 9B. I'm almost warm enough for some stuff. But there's a whole bunch of stuff that you can plant. Yeah, for sure. Something else that's happening right now is I have seedlings coming up, and the borage is coming up. I saw a few flax out there. I don't think the flax seeds that I threw out, I think they're a little old. So I think that was just the ones that planted themselves. And borage is all over the place. So if you're local to me, I will be selling borage starts and actually also collard greens, tree collards starts, because I have a bunch of tree collards that came up in a bed that I actually just planted nasturtiums in. But that is, if you're local to Gilroy, hey, let me know. I'll hook you up with some plants. Yeah. All right. Verna says, away from keyboard, Lucy needs out. And with a new pit bull downstairs, I have to take her out. Yep. She might have a little friends. She might have a little friend making, huh? Val says to Steve, buy a powerful leaf blower, otherwise we will end up buying two. Oh boy. And the new law about bull breeds comes into force here today. They will be, oh my gosh, destroying a lot of dogs, and it'll be illegal to own one. I'm sorry. I have opinions about this. It's the people, not the dogs. And I think that's ridiculous. That should be fought legally. Opinionated person over here. Yeah, it's definitely the owners, not the dogs. When you have yeah. I'm gonna not say anything more about that. All right. Hey, Ed's here. Welcome, Ed. Sorry, guys, watching Anime with Wife. Say hi to Wendy. Say hi. I hope everybody's happy and healthy there. And have fun watching. Butterfly says, I grow edibles at our carp community garden. Our plots are 4 by 9 feet. You can grow a lot in that. You can grow a lot. Yeah, if you are, hey, you can grow moringa. Does it freeze where you are? You can grow moringa. Yeah, that would be a good one. That would be a crop so some people grow it as a tree. Some people grow it as like an annual, so that they coppice it and then it grows again, and then do that and grows again. They do that too. Yeah. Linda's here. Welcome, Linda. Hi, everyone. Linda here from Sacramento. Happy New Year. Linda, I was going to introduce you to Ken, who, if he's still on, please say hi to Linda. You guys are both in Sacramento County. Ken is interested a lot in gardening stuff. Linda has a lot of quail and some American breast chickens, and she does Quail University and Hatching at Home program. So say hi to each other. Welcome, Linda. Val says, I have same opinion on dogs, and Buster agrees. Yeah, it's very sad when we have people that are not responsible in charge of individuals they should not be in charge of. I'll just leave it at that. Butterfly says, not much freezing, just very cold this time of year. We also are 1 block off the shoreline, so we get coastal airflow. Okay, so you do get some salt influence as well. There are okay, I'm going into trees, but there's avocados, and I don't remember which ones they are, but there's some avocados that are more salt wind tolerant that I learned about a long time ago. That helps you not at all, does it? I'm sorry. Random things that I remember from something. Yeah, so salt influence is something that you have on the coast that I don't deal with. And my recommendation for that is to get local, buy your starts locally, because there will already hopefully be evolved for that. Yeah. Butterfly says we have many avocado farms already. There you go. I guess it doesn't help you at all, does it? Yeah. If you want a salty treat, you can grow pickleweed, but that might actually be native there, and habitat for a native species. At least here. I don't know if it is down there or not. Yeah, there's a lot you can grow in zone 10, and there's a lot you can grow everywhere, right? I mean, I think zone 5 is where you can grow sassafras. Not sassafras. What is it? Is that sassafras? What is a tree? Sarsaparilla tree. Why did I say sassafras? I don't know why I said that. Anyway, yeah. All right. Linda says, "Hi, Ken. I hope to meet you. I am in the Rio Linda area." Did you just move there because it's for the Rio Linda? My gardening skills are slightly better than terrible, but I can talk about poultry nonstop for days. There you go. Hopefully he responds. Butterfly says, we have a lot of pickleweed at the salt marsh. I appreciate your ideas. You're welcome. Yeah, I don't know if it's protected at the salt marsh, so maybe it's edible. It's very salty. That's it. Val is asking, did you crochet your throw on the back of the sofa? I crochet not much nowadays. Are you talking about this one or this one? This one is wool, and it came from, it's actually a shawl. It came from Ireland. I went to Ireland with my grandma. That was like a big gift that she gave when I graduated high school. And it was cold there, and we bought shawls. And this one of my relatives made. I don't actually remember who. Maybe my mom can help out if she's on still. But when my grandma passed, this was a blanket that nobody wanted. And I had one like this that was green, dark green and light green when I was little, and I don't know what happened to it. And it is nice, and I like it, and it's colorful, and I like it. So I did not make it, but one of our relatives did. And if my mom's still on here, maybe she can chime in if she knows who. But it's colorful. Ken says, to Linda, hi, Linda. I'm close to Cal Expo. I'm volunteering in our community garden. There you go. You guys can talk, and you're in the same area. Yes, it is protected. I figured pickleweed was. I know it is up here. We have a salt marsh, harvest mouse, and the shrew as well up here. So I know that it's a pretty protected thing. Okay, so my mom says about this, I think Nana made that one. That would be my great grandma, or maybe Aunt Wally, which would be my great aunt. So we don't really know, but it's somebody there. Yeah. So Butterfly, he's talking about in Sacramento County. Yeah. You think you're not far from carp? Isn't that so? Did I meet you at the Heirloom Expo? I think I did. I'm in Gilroy, which is north of there. Yeah. Yeah, I'm in Santa Clara County, southern part of Santa Clara County. So zone 9B, and yeah, they did change. They're very possible. It could be where you got signed up. Yeah, so zone 9B is where I am. You guys may or may not know, you may know your zone from before, and it may be different now. The USDA, and I did a video on that. You'll have the link, and I don't have the link right now, but the USDA updated the USDA planting zones, which is really a hardiness map. So how cold how cold does it get, basically? And so a lot of people's hardiness zone changed. Mine stayed the same. A lot of people stays the same too. So there you go. There you go. So make sure that you check that, and you might be able to grow things that you couldn't before, or you might be on the edge of something that you can try. You can maybe shelter it in the winter, wait till it gets bigger and all that. So it's something to check out. And of course it's going to continue to go that way. So yeah. Butterfly says, does Gilroy still have the garlic festival? No, we have not had that since the shooting. Insurance went up, and my understanding is that's the reason why. Yeah, I had just left when that happened, left early, and I usually stay until the end, and for some reason that day I'm like, I think I'll leave. I don't know why, but glad I did. So, yeah. No, they don't have it. I think there's someone else that's trying to have one in the Sacramento County area, but it's not the same people. And then they have this weird, like, they try to have it. It's like events throughout the year now, or events throughout the summer. And it's like, here's an event, and there's an event, and there's an event. And that's not really the same. Yeah. Butterfly says we're still zone 10AB, and Carpeteria has the Avocado Fest every October. Awesome. Thank you, Verna. Verna put the link to my video about the USDA planting zones, and I don't remember how long ago that was. It was a couple months ago, I think. Yeah, avocados are wonderful. Okay, Ken asked a question, since we're a little slow and people don't want to share their goals. Ken asked a question on a video about flowers. And so all flowers are not alike. We'll talk about flowers. If you guys want to talk about something else, go ahead and put it in the chat. If you have questions about other things, go ahead and put it in the chat. We'll get to that. 1 month ago is when that came out. Thank you, Verna. So flowers are where fruit comes from, and that is the basis of, where do they come from? It comes from the fruit. So even grasses have flowers. They're little tiny. They're not very showy. Sometimes they're green. Sometimes they're a little bit yellowish. But even that has a flower, because like an oat is a fruit. It's a seed in the fruit. And so that even has a flower. You can see them in the right time of year when you go out. If you see a pumpkin, those have those really big flowers and they're really showy. And it's really easy once you know if you have a male or female by looking at it. And I have a video on that too. Should we send Verna down on a pathway to find every single video that I ever made? Verna, don't. It's fine. But I do have a video on that, and that one's very, very easy to tell, because you have a male flower and you have a female flower. And those are called incomplete flowers. So they're incomplete because they're missing their other part, right? So you have a male flower, you have a female. Verna says, nope, LOL. Oh, and Steve says, yeah, USDA moved me from 7B to 8A, then back to 7B. Oh, there you go. What can you say? Anyway, so male flowers and female flowers, that pretty much speaks for itself. The pollen is the male part. So pollen goes to the female flower, and they actually have ovaries in their flower. And when the pollen goes in there, it's just like, males and females, right? And the babies that are produced in there are the fruits. The fruits have seeds in them. That's what you plant for the next season. So that is how it works when there's male flowers and female flowers. Is the male flower plays one role, the female flower plays another role. There are flowers that are called complete flowers, and they're complete because they have both male and female parts. Some of these flowers that are complete flowers And then there's terms here that I don't remember right now. So if someone wants to shout them out, you got to type though. Shout them out all you want, but we won't know about it unless you type. There are some complete flowers that have both male and female parts, and they can self-pollinize, which means they can do their little act themselves and it will come out with fruit. So that is something that can happen. There are also complete flowers that have some sort of blocking system where they can't pollinize themselves. So they actually need another plant or another flower, oftentimes another plant, to pollinate with, and they'll cross-pollinate. So a lot of flowers do better. A lot of complete flowers do better. Let me back up. A lot of plants with complete flowers do better if they actually have somebody else to pollinate with, right? So even if they can self-pollinate, often you'll get more fruit if there is another partner. Now there's a weird thing that happens with avocados, really weird, where it's not male and female. It's A type and B type. And so we understand so far, right? Anybody lost? I should wait. Pretty simple up to that point. I don't know if there's any other things, but except for avocados, but I know avocados do this, and there are A types and there's B types, and I don't remember which is which. And Steve says, I just got the vent sexing down with quail. Now you are sending me to do it with pumpkins. They're not growing yet. You have time to learn. So one of them, I don't know, remember if it's A or B, but one of them opens the male part of the flower in the morning and the female part of the same flower in the afternoon. So that's avoiding self-pollination. The other type, so A or B, does it the opposite. What did I just say? Male in the morning, female in the afternoon. So the other ones will do female in the afternoon and male in the morning. So that's why a lot of avocados, you want two of them, an A type and a B type. However, somebody else can describe what this is, because I heard about it and I don't know how it works. I have heard if you graft one of the types onto the other type, and I don't know if it's A and B or B and A, or if it matters, then something happens systematic that kind of overrides the system. So yeah, flowers. Hopefully that was a quick and dirty look at flowers. Hopefully not too dirty. Anyway, Ken, let me know if that answers your question. That's why I didn't want to type everything. I typed a big long answer for him, but that's a longer answer. Yeah, but the pollen is the boy part. You can think of that as the swimmers. Yeah. Val says, will you be asking questions to see if we were listening? I got lost at ovaries. That's okay. That's okay. No, there'll be a test later. And Steve says, oh my God, I hope not. Andy Rabbit says hello. Val, if you would like me to explain something else, or explain something again, let me know. Otherwise, I'm not going to go over again unless someone asks. But that was a question that was asked on a comment on a video, and so I figured out this is a better way for me to answer it because I don't have to type a thing this long. Yeah. Everybody's saying hello to Andy Rabbit. Hello, Andy Rabbit. No worries. Yeah. All right. Oh, the other thing that we have growing, so we have the tree collards, we have the borage, and then we also have the miner's lettuces coming up. We had that for the first time of the season in a meal yesterday and today. And so that is a native plant that somehow came into my yard, I think from a neighbor. And it is high in vitamin C. It does kind of take over the world, but then it dies back eventually. So It's okay. There we go. Andy Rabbit says, hello, guys. Ken says, oh, it's the seeds. How do seeds appear seemingly without being attached by an umbilical cord? So they are attached. It's not called umbilical cord. I don't know what it's called. But they are attached in there. It might be very, very small, like that you can't see it, but they are attached. If you look at, I'm asking you to look at watermelon in the middle of winter. If you look at watermelon and you can see like the tip, you can kind of, when you pick it out, you can kind of feel it come out. I don't know. That's the only one I can think of. But they're attached. Just trust that they're attached. Yeah. PJ says, Bruce called me to tell me they made it back home safely. I missed the whole flower sex talk. Oh, PJ, you can rewatch it. You want me to do it again? Oh, funny. I'm pretty sure you might know most of it, if not all of it. All right. Same with tomatoes. Yeah, tomatoes actually have that goo around it too, which is part of that's the actual, the seed, all that. And some fruits that you see as fruits are not actually the fruit part of the fruit. So here's something that blows your mind. Strawberries. What we call the strawberry is actually an auxiliary fruit. It is not the fruit. The fruit is what we see as the seed. And the seed is actually inside of that because the fruit is so tiny and you open it up and then there's a seed inside there. So what we are eating is not actually the fruit. It's auxiliary tissue. Does that matter to anybody? No, it doesn't. It's just a fun little piece of trivia there. Val says, Steve, are you thinking she's going to go all intelligent again? Oh, no. Uh-oh. Steve says, seeds have hooks, spines, and barbs that can stick to animals who transport them. One of the visiting cats brought you new plants. This one, I think, was taken out of nature into someone's yard and then has spread. But yes, that is true. That can happen. There's one I like to call the devil plant because I went into the woods and I was wearing fleece and I came out full of burrs that just appeared. And I didn't know where they came from for a long time until I actually learned the name. And it's called hedge parsley. And it's a nasty plant. Yeah, I still call it devil plant. Andy says, think pulling out of a jack pumpkin, the seeds are stuck. Yeah, so the seeds are stuck with long stringy things. So some of them you can see really, really readily, and that's a much better example. Thank you, Andy. That's a much better example than watermelon. There's still time to go to the store and buy a pumpkin if you didn't grow one and open it up and look for the stringy stuff. Yes, much better example. Thank you. And my mom says, miner's lettuce, named for the miners who traveled by sea to the California gold rush. They went so long without vitamin C, they suffered scurvy. And the vitamin C in the miner's lettuce is what you get scurvy when you don't have vitamin C. There you go. Upon arrival, they ate miner's lettuce to replenish their vitamin C deficiency. It's a good thing they arrived in that season because that's not above ground growing all the time. There we go. Steve says, now when I taste a bad watermelon, I'm going to be thinking of it differently. And what about the seedless watermelons? No, that's funny. Oh, you're all doing it? I don't know. Sorry, Val. Butterfly says, if I send you a photo of a very interesting to me seed pot, can you tell which plant is seed pod? Maybe. If you haven't joined the Friends of Sow and Tare Facebook group, that is a really, really good place to put that. And I will put the link right here. And if you want to join that, make sure you answer all the questions and accept it, so that you can join. And once that's in there, for sure, go ahead and post photos like that if we want to talk about different things. That group we can talk about all things homestead related, garden related, plant, animal related. But if you post those, that's kind of like a companion to these live chats, is, building a little community and have us talk about things like, let's spark a conversation now. And then sometimes we have a lot of activity on there. Sometimes we don't. Most of the activity is like Monday night and Tuesday when people are thinking about the things we talk about. But yeah, for sure, put it on there. And who knows, I may be able to know, I may not be able to know. But someone else may be able to as well. So for sure, it's worth a try. Yeah. A very interesting plant. Maybe put the picture of the plant too, not just the pod. Oh, yeah. There's a lot of different seed pods that are very interesting. And like milkweed, nearleaf milkweed, it's interesting because it splits open and then there's just fluff attached to a seed. And that fluff attached to a seed, so that the wind can take it away. But my experience is milkweed is best grown by just letting the root grow, chopping off part of the root, letting the root grow, because I've tried from seed so many times and have not had success with that. It's one of those plants that's very difficult to grow from seed. You have to know how to grow it. And I have tried different things and have not been successful. Yeah. All right, so some new people came on. We talked about goals earlier and how to ensure that your goals are reached. We can call them improvements if you'd like to not call them goals. One of the things that I am doing is more record keeping and better organization with that. And my specific thing that will make that easier for me to reach is to put that file on the desktop of my computer. And that way it's there. I don't have to go through other files. I don't have to, I don't have to look in my hard drive where I put all my videos. I can just go on the computer and there you go. So we're looking for goals and how you plan to ensure that you meet them. Yeah. So if you're new on here, you put that on there. If not, you don't want to share it, that's fine too. Yeah. All right. Well, our broody mama that before I left for Christmas, that she was on eggs. She is no longer on the eggs. So she's done this several times and I continue to let her do it. And I don't know if I should or not, but it's fun when they hatch. It's fun when they hatch. It's worth it to me. But she's done this several times. I don't know if it's actually the same one or not. I haven't marked her for that. But now I get to go climb underneath the rabbit hutches and get out all the eggs. So what do I do with them once that happens? Part of them are going to be maybe partially developed. Maybe some of them won't be developed. And so honestly, what I've done when I know the nest is dead, I know she's not been on it for a long time and she's not going to, that means that I can have the eggs out and I actually just step on them. I step on them and the birds eat them. And to me, that just makes more sense. If you feed eggs back to your birds, then that's high protein, high calcium. They eat the shell, all that. They won't actually peck into the shell unless there's already a crack or something, because it's too hard for them to get into. But if you step on them and they're open now, then they can definitely get to things. So I actually just step on them, let them eat it, let them take care of it. What they don't eat gets scratched into the wood chips. I have them on deep litter, and that gives that more nutrition as well. So When going through these wood chips, we're about a fourth of the way through on the main quail aviary, and we have about 1.5 feet deep of mostly compost. It's been 2 years since I went through this. Typically you do it every year. It had been at least 2 years, and it's mostly compost at this point. And so that is a lot of compost, and we have 8 feed bags full of compost just out of a fourth of that area. Now we do have a couple things like the feeder and the sandbox within the rest of it that, maybe it's more than a fourth, but there's a lot that comes out. Yeah. Steve says, did you vernalize, cold treat that milkweed? I tried to stratify it. Is that another term to say stratify? Cold stratify? But I tried to stratify it and doing that, and that didn't work. But honestly, I'm happy with the amount of milkweed I have out there. So I'm a wildlife biologist and by trade, and when I go out in the field, sometimes we have literally fields that have been disked. Maybe it was a brutal grassland and then it disked, and when that happens, it in fields that get disked, I noticed that there was a lot of milkweed. Where there was milkweed, there was a lot of it. And in fields that didn't get disked, where there was milkweed, there was some here and some over here and some over here. So that's when I was like, okay, well, that's coming from the root. And then, when they get chopped up, they get to have new plants. And so that's something that I let happen by just, it'll spread by growth. But then also I tried chopping some and it worked. So, yeah. Oh, Verna says, Katrina, that means you have a new brooder nanny. That may be the case. Yeah, I'll have to pay attention to which one she is. I don't know which one actually hatched babies in the main aviary. She hatched at least 9 babies, and 5 of them are still in there. I need to dispatch one of the males. He's quite small. And yeah, there's 3 males and 2 females that came out of that batch. And so 2 of those males, I can keep them to, further the cause. But one of them he's pretty small, so he's going to get to freezer camp. There you go. Steve says, I think if I had one that acted broody, I tend to think I would always let them try. And that's how I think of it. Now, Verna's right. It would really benefit to have a Nana in the brooder. So I actually did this. I had one that she passed of old age, and she went broody like 8 or 9 times before I'm like, you know what? I have babies inside. You're going inside and being Nana. And I did. I put her in there. Actually with a little nest she had 3 eggs that were developing. The rest of them weren't. So I put them in those 3 eggs and a few kind of new ones and to sit on. And once she was in there and she saw babies, she didn't care about the nest anymore. But she did the best job. She very much quieted down the situation in the quail room. Yeah. So that's good idea. Val says, does it smell if you crack eggs in there? Sometimes. It depends if they've gone bad or not. If they are still developing or you have stopped developing and it has not been too long, then they don't smell. And in this case, I have a feeling she's gotten up off of them quite a bit, so I don't anticipate there being any close to hatching age. But as long as there's no cracks in them, they last quite a bit before they get smelly. And then if there's cracks, then that's when the bacteria gets in and kind of messes with things and then it gets smelly. So if they do smell right away, I let them eat for a little bit and then I just turn it over in the wood chips, and the little microbes in there will take care of it. And it's good. It's all good. Time to start marking them. I was going to mark the lady who got broody and hatched them, and then I was so busy during that time. Yeah, she actually went broody during QuailCon. And I went to QuailCon, and I went to the National Heirloom Expo. That was like a big trip. They were like almost back to back. And I basically was like, I don't know when she started, but here we go. And then by the time I actually saw them, I wasn't going out there until after dark for several days. And they were already a couple days old by the time I knew they had hatched, because I didn't know when they started because I was gone. And then I didn't know when they hatched because when I went in there, they were underneath mom, So, yeah. Val says, do you find the smaller males make the most noise? I do not know. I keep the larger ones because I grow for meat. And so I keep the larger ones. I also keep the ones that do not have the piercing sound. So those are the ones I keep. And the other ones, they're pretty much gone to freezer camp at 8 weeks old. So they've had a couple weeks to be crowing, and that's it. Anybody else have opinions about that? So there are some people that grow for the colors and not for the size. And they're more concerned about eggs. And some of those people may know an answer to that, and maybe a generalization too. Yeah. Verna says to Val, I can say the quiet roos are the ones with the smallest gonads. True. And that has to do with light, and it has to do with genetics and whatever else, because some of them are still fairly small when you put them when they shouldn't be. But that definitely is true. Also why they're quieter in winter. Steve says one of the reasons for the male crow is to attract a mate. The better crow gets more mates. If I was punny, I'd keep trying. We need Eric here, huh? Yeah, they and some, like, I kept one of them in one of my aviaries because he just had a funny crow and I liked it. When I select them, I make sure that one, they're big enough. Sometimes I'm looking for the biggest ones, but when they turn around, they're always females, and so I like the bigger ones, that they're healthy, their feet are good, their bones are good, all of that. But they have to be nice to the ladies, and they have to actually do their job. Because I kept one time, and he was the biggest, he was the best, he was looking great. The girls wouldn't let him do the job. They didn't like him. So I'm like, well, I guess you're going away. So that's something to look for sure. And Val says, like men, they're stinky, or that the smaller ones make the most noise. Yeah, maybe. No, I think there's a whole pecking order with that as well. So it kind of depends on who else is around. And then, of course, if you have a jerk, you have a jerk. I had one jerk one time, my very first hatch, and it's been, knock on some wood here, the only jerk so far. So, yeah. But that is the way it goes. And it's funny because when we're cleaning out the compost from the deep litter from the main aviary today, it is so funny because the birds don't even care. They don't even care. I mean, we cleaned out between a foot and a half of basically just compost, and it is really fun to play in, apparently. It's fun enough to play in that the birds will go in there underneath you and play in it underneath you while you're shoveling. And it's really funny. It's really, really funny. There was one that a couple times, kind of slid down that little hill into the hole, went back up, slid down again. I'm like, are you really like on the slides at recess right now? But it's so funny because you leave that for a little bit to go do something. You come back and they're all in the hole, just dust bathing in the compost. It's so funny. So if you want entertainment and you're growing quail, aviaries and dust baths are your friend for sure. Val says normally a jerk in each hatch. That's a lot. Do you have good sources for eggs over where you are? Val's in the UK. I only know what we have here, and I don't even know all of them. I just know my Shire is my go-to for eggs. There are other people that have eggs too, but if I'm wanting something different, that's who I go to. Are there other options where you are? Or are you pretty much like, hey, this guy over here has eggs, or people kind of in the community selling their own eggs? Because I wonder if there is something, bred into that. Like there's some that maybe they don't cull as hard as they should. I don't know. If you're having it in every hatch, that sounds like a lot. Yeah. Val says, I love sitting watching them dust bathe. Yes. And in the aviary, they do that in the chips too. They do that in the wood chips, and they chip bathe. It's funny we say that quail don't scratch like chickens, which they don't, but they definitely dig holes. So you have a hole about this big, and then, maybe a little further away, you'll have another hole this big because they've just gone down and you can just gonna chip bathe, or they're looking for little bugs or whatever. Yeah. Steve says, jerk, such a variable term when it comes to quail. I don't know. I mean, I think in the aviaries is pretty harmonious. Like you might get a little tiff here and there, but they have room to run away and be just fine. So they're fine with that. Val says, no one around me knows what they are, let alone eat a quail egg. There you go. You have some potential customers maybe, huh? Got to convince them that they're not too cute to eat. That's my problem, is apparently people think they're too cute to eat. Like there will be more. Yeah. So the chickens were pretty funny. I cleaned out my tomatoes. I wasn't going to, and then I'm like, okay, I actually have to take the time to do this because I planted peas and some other things in there. Actually plant a winter garden in winter. And when I did that, the tomatoes, coming out, there was some that were like hanging on, like, yeah, that's not something I want to eat, or something that's split, or something that's, halfway ripe. And so I gave them over to the chickens. And it's so funny. There was one that was like this big. It was like half green and half red. And I went there again. I have 3 chickens, and the one lowest on the totem pole, she is so funny because certain things, she doesn't care if she's the lowest on the totem pole. She's going to get it out of your hand, and it's going to go down into her belly. Slugs and bugs are one of them. But this tomato, I thought I was going to hold on to it and have them like eat out of my hand. Nope. Nope. She went full velociraptor and grabbed it and ran away. Of course, then her sisters ran after him, and tomato football commenced. Yeah. Butterfly says, I hope to be back soon. Thank you for the kind ideas. Absolutely, Butterfly. I'm glad you're able to make it. Hopefully you're getting stuff on the replays. And if you have questions, totally put them in the comments if you're watching on the replay. I do answer questions on the comments as much as I can. I think I missed some over Christmas, but yeah, definitely do that. Good to see you and good luck. Val says, I bought stickers with the benefits of eating them, put leaflets. I can sell chicken eggs all day. Sometimes I sell the odd box of quail eggs. Isn't that funny? Isn't that funny? And I mean, quail eggs are so much better for you than chicken eggs. And it's just funny how that is. Yeah. Andy says, I'm watching TV and there's an owl on the show. It looks like a grouse. Oh. I used to have some that were grouse. I had my main aviary used to be a mixture of a bunch of different colors. And it got to the point where I didn't know when they were young if they're male or female. And you don't know until they're like 6 weeks old. And by then you have some interactions going on and you don't know, there's things you want to know ahead of time. And so I actually changed over to the feather sexable ones because at 3 weeks old, you know what you have. You know who you have and all of that. And actually the quail in there, I should show you the quail, huh? They're still in the brooder. Should they be in the brooder still? No. But I will show you anyway. I'm doing this clean out of the compost before they go into the aviaries. I'm going to split them between the two aviaries to grow up, and we're going to do some things for Quail University in there. But that is the plan. But I didn't want to do that, what we're doing, with a bunch of babies running around. So they're still in the brooder. Let me bring one out. I'll show you how big they are. Okay, I'm back. Hold on, guys. Okay, we're going to teach you guys right now how to sex 4-week-old quail. I think they're 4 weeks old. Are you guys 4 weeks old? Okay, that are feather sexable. These are jumbo wild. I got both of them. All right. First off, the easy ones. That's a male. See how we're rooty chested? Got some spots on you. Well, okay. The rooty chest is the male. And see how she's lovely dotted? That is female. So I'm going to try. I know. Life's tough. I just got pooped on. Okay. You guys see the difference? There we go. Now you're quiet, huh? Like, ooh, who are you? Who are we? Who are we? I see myself. Okay. Any questions on that? They are getting big. You guys are getting big. Yeah, I know. And you pooped on me. You pooped on me. All right. Shush. I'm going to put these guys away. And, okay, we have comments. Oh, we have more poop. Lucky on me and the computer, at least, right? Okay, I can't scroll, but Verna's saying, notice, Katrina, that the male spots are more faded, but the female spots are more defined. Exactly. And we have a rooty chest right here and a spotted chest right here. All right. I will. Hey, Manuel? Yeah. Can you come get the birds and bring a piece of toilet paper? Can you come get the birds and bring a piece of toilet paper, please? Thank you.
And get what?
A piece of toilet paper, because they pooped on me. Which means they won't poop on you, maybe. I just think that's better than, to potentially have things fall on the floor. Yeah, she's pretty, huh? In that order. Yeah, in that order, huh? You can just put down. You can take one at a time. Got him? Okay, there's a pretty girl. Thank you. Okay, we got my toilet paper. Sorry, guys. I am cleaning up my pants real quick. These were clean pajama pants, too. We came in, and I sat down on the couch, and I forgot that my pants were so dirty from doing the compost, and I had a butt print on the couch, so I had to clean that up, and I decided just to change to pajama pants. But we'll change again before bed. Okay. Well, that's fun. There we go. Okay, scrolling to where we were. All right. Can you bring me a towel too, so I can put it on my lap?
Oh.
Yeah, I want to put the pillow on top of it.
What?
Just bring me a towel, please.
A little one?
Sure.
A hand towel?
Sure. Okay, I'm scrolling back up. Val says people eat with their eyes. I prefer quail eggs. I sit for hours making pickled eggs for my family. Yeah, they eat with their eyes and know what they familiar with as well. So like familiarity is a good thing for people, but quail eggs are good. Quail eggs are really good. And Andy says Val put a leaflet in chicken eggs about the goodness of quail eggs. That's a good idea. You can cross-pollinate your sales, right? Yeah, that's a really good idea, Andy. Yeah, Val says good thinking. I think so. Steve says because they don't look like what they eat, it's harder to get normal people to eat something new. Right. And Andy says, I got an electric peeler for Christmas. It's wonderful. And you tried it out before you were supposed to, right? I'm glad you like it. Electric egg peelers are awesome. They are awesome. Yeah, for sure. Verna says, yeah, and the nutritional value comparing the two types of eggs. Yep. Andy says, Steve, you saying we aren't normal? What? Thanks. Okay. I just wanted to put a pillow on my lap so I can put my mouse on top of it. So it's much more comfortable for me. We aren't normal. What? We're above normal. Verna says, around here, they either don't know what they are and don't want to try because you can't buy them at Walmart. I had several people tell me, oh, are you supplying the quail eggs to Costco? No. So there's there's quail eggs in Costco. People buy them from Costco, but they don't want to buy them here. Yeah, they're cheaper at Costco, but guess what? They're also smaller. Yeah. Is egg peeler good? Yes, Val. I have an egg peeler. I've been on using it too when I made deviled eggs, and it is if you are making hard-boiled eggs that you're peeling, which you just said you are, and you're doing it at any amount, it will save you so much time and effort. It's amazing. Yeah. Andy says, okay, Steve, yeah, maybe we aren't normal. Normal people would not take getting pooped on so calmly. Part of life. I don't know. Did you guys see the poop drop? Instead of watching the ball drop, you see the poop drop. The thing is, when you take them out and you handle them, you just have to expect that you'll be pooped on. I was just glad it didn't poop on the keyboard. Yeah. I didn't put a towel over the keyboard. I probably should have. Steve says that rust with spots confuses people at the 3 or 4 week age. I've noticed rust area grows. Yeah, if it has that rust like front, then it's male for sure. And when they're 3 weeks old, sometimes it can be a little bit iffy to tell. But once they're 4 weeks old, they should be, you could tell. Val says pretty female. Yes, she is. Yes, she is. Verta says, and a female can have a rust on her chest as well. So looking at the spots definition is how to make sure. Yeah, depending on the variety, the different colors and all of that, that will change things. But if you have a feather sexable one, except for the goldens are a little different. But most of the feather sexable ones, that's what you're looking at. You're looking at a solid. It might not be that rusty flavor, that rusty color, but it would be a solid or more solid color. For like the Egyptian fees, it's more of a white color, but it's solid. And then the females have spots. So yeah. Steve says, I moved my grow out hens to the regular cage today. I only had to chase 2 out of 20 with a fishing net. So that is a tip I have, is on the outside of all my aviaries, I have a butterfly net. And to me, I've only had to chase down a couple of them. And really, you're not doing much chasing. It's really that they bolt out and they fly very low, and then they land. And usually they don't go anywhere once they land, or they'll like maybe sneak under something. They are super, super camouflage, like super camouflage. And that's only happened a few times, maybe 2 or 3. It happened when I was doing the video for QuailCon this last year. So that was kind of fun. It was fun to get on video. It flew right over the camera. But so yes, they do fly. It's mostly glorified leaps. They don't fly very far, but they can fly. But yeah, glad you only had 2 that you had to deal with. Okay, so Val says those were very obvious, not like my dodgy hatch. Define normal. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that's why I like the feather sexable ones, because they are just, you know what it is at 3 weeks old, and you don't have to guess. Yeah. If you would like to do, if you would like to know the day they hatch, you can. You need to keep basically 3 different colonies, one of the wild type, whatever that type is, one with a the roux color, so like Egyptian with a the Egyptians and the wilds. The Egyptian is the redhead of the wild. So whatever the partnering up is of these, there's several different partnerings of that. So you keep them straight, and then you have one hutch or aviary that has the male of one and the female of the other, and you put them together, and then you know that their eggs, the females are going to be this and the males are going to be that. So like that's something that that you can do if you have the space and if you want that, because they're going to be different colors when they come out of the egg. But you have to have space. Andy Rabbit says, thank goodness I have my headset on. LOL, he didn't hear you. Should I yell louder? He heard peeping, didn't he, before? Should I peep it? Morse code? I don't know Morse code. Steve says, Costco, cheaper, smaller, and older. Yep. It is amazing when I see quail eggs in the stores, because they have them in. So if you're in the quail community, you know, one of the number one questions about eggs is, where the heck do I go for the big egg cartons? Because mine don't fit. I've seen so many eggs in the stores upside down in the egg cartons and like rattling. And I'm like, yeah, you're paying that, but you're not paying for big eggs. Yeah. Andy says, I peeled about 80 or more eggs in less than 20 minutes the first time trying out the egg peeler. There we go. Yeah, Val says supermarket eggs hatch. I've tried. Hey, and those are going to probably be very strong birds because they've gone through the odds, right? Yeah. I've heard of people doing that. For sure. Personally, because I already have quail, I wouldn't do that because I would be you don't know what those genetics are and stuff if you're just going to eat them and you're keeping separate, whatever. But if you're going to keep them with yours, I kind of want to know. Steve says, Val, ours won't. Ours have never seen a rooster, and they are a month old before they get to our supermarket. Steve, there are supermarkets that have roosters for sure. Not supermarkets, but for sure. A lot of the Mexican marts, grocery stores have ones that I've heard have hatched. I mean, that's generally where you see them. You don't really see them like at Safeway or something. But yeah, for sure, I have heard of this happening in the United States. Yeah. Okay, Val says that's what they say about the ones here, but they hatched Celadon. Okay. Val says on one of the groups someone said about it, so I thought I am going to try it, and it worked. Yeah, I would wonder what the hatch rate is on that, because if the hatch rate's high, like nobody would buy any eggs from anybody to hatch. But if the hatch rate is low, I'm gonna guess that's probably what it would be, because they're probably gonna be older eggs. Yeah. Andy Rabbit says, a big quail farm in Texas. My dad met him at a gas station one day. My dad said, my daughter has quail. Somewhere in the conversation, the guy said, all the eggs they sell are fertilized because they don't have a reason not to have a fertile egg. Yeah, exactly. And that's because if you keep them all in the same colony, the males, I mean, at a 1-to-5 ratio, or, I don't know what their ratios are, but usually you do 1-to-5. It's not that many extra mouths to feed. They're usually smaller than the females and all of that. But why would you have a separate place to breed them if you're just breeding them there? And there are some religions that are not allowed to eat fertilized eggs. And so if you are one of those religions, then that would be something, a heads up to. And then also it might be an opportunity if you are in a region where, and I don't remember what the religions, if it's one or many that have that, but that could be a sales opportunity for you, is if you keep a colony that is just females and you can actually advertise that, then, hey, they've not been with males since they were 3 weeks old, and go from there, then that would be a selling point for that community for sure. And Andy Rabbit says, you're right, Katrina. He did hear your babies one night. I know. Steve says, corner grocery store, supermarket, not the same thing. No, there's supermarkets here that are Mexican supermarkets that are actual supermarkets. Like, it's not like they're like same size as Safeway and stuff like that. Yeah. Andy Rabbit says, it only takes 2 quail to make more. True. Val says, it was a good hatch rate, and I sold them all as they were all pretty. That's good. Yeah, it's typically standard sized quail that they use for that, is my understanding. Now, they could use the jumbos, and if they're doing meat and eggs, that would make sense. But it costs less for them to feed the standard ones. Yeah. Jewish and Islam can't eat fertile eggs. Yeah, so there's fertile eggs going on all over the place in, like, even with the pasture raised. I've heard of people hatching the pasture raised Like from the grocery store chicken eggs? Yeah. Val says this was USDA, which is the English version of Walmart. Okay. Yeah, I mean mainstream. I don't see why they would keep just the females, because ultimately they have to breed them again anyway. But yeah, and they may be providing eggs for different reasons at different places at different times, and that may change. So as long as people don't specify that they need it to be not fertilized, then there you go. Yeah. Asda. Yeah. Yeah. So there you go. Right now, I have no reason to have females in an area without males, but I would say if I was in a big community with people that needed that, and that's a service you could provide, I would definitely, set aside a hutch or do another aviary somewhere to do that. Hopefully, I'd have more land at that point. Yeah. Val says, Verna says, back, kits were letting me know their food dishes were empty. Oh. Yeah, little boy who we will look at names next week. Fruit names next week, not this week. I've been feeding him 3 times a day because he just scarfs, and I don't think he understands that he's going to get more food. So I've been splitting things up and trying to kind of drip it out and get his belly used to being full smaller so that he spends, he doesn't just scarf it up all at once. It's not really all at once, but like you feed him at night. I feed all my rabbits at night, and if I feed him at night, it's almost gone in the morning, like a full cup. And that is, yeah. So I'm thinking he might need a little more than a cup, but probably not much. So I'm giving him almost a half a cup 3 times a day. So I think I need to cut. I'm going to be cutting that back so that he actually gets a cup a day, but spread out. And then at some point, hopefully I'll be able to just scoop 1 cup and put it in. If anybody has any tips for that, that would be good. I just feel that he shouldn't be as hungry as he is. The girls that are like a month older than him, they are doing fine on a cup a day, and they actually don't have quite a cup a day. So there you go. Val says they probably just don't expect you to hatch them. Yeah, exactly. And I mean, here you're required to wash the eggs. So that bloom is no longer there. So officially it shouldn't be as healthy to hatch them. Like that bloom isn't protecting it while it's being incubated and all that. But I mean, hey, nature's going to find a way, right? Andy Rabbit, did you say fruit names? Yes. So little boy bunny, his mama's name is Pineapple. So I figured this is a different line. And so we should have a fruit themed name. It doesn't have to be a fruit, but either a fruit name or a fruit theme. How old is he, and was he with his siblings when you got him? So he was born on May 21st. June, July, August, September, October, November, December. So 7, a little bit more months. And was he with his siblings when you got him? I did not ask this question. My understanding is that I think he had recently been separated from them. That's the feeling I got, but I did not ask that question. Yeah. But I have a feeling that he probably like had to compete against his brothers to get food. So that's what I'm trying to kind of train out. Let him know, yes, you're going to get food. Andy Rabbit says, I have a name thought up for him next week. That's our topic next week. You guys all know. Yeah. Save it for next week, Andy, Steve says. Yep. Just want to switch the gears in there from Italian foods to that. So anyway, he's been really good. When I was gone, Manuel pet him, and so that's really good that he still got some pets, but he didn't pick him up. So when I picked him up again, as you guys saw in the video today, he was like, what's going on? So I need to pick him up more and handle him more. Honestly, there's no reason to do that with a buck because the females always come to him, except for just emergencies or something like that. But I like to have a relationship and say, okay, we're gonna pet you, we're gonna love on you, and all of that. And I have that relationship. I have not picked up Ravioli and Rigatoni as much as I wanted to, and so they don't like it now. But I don't think they liked it before. But they definitely come up for pets, and so he does that as well. The other two, Penne and Risotto, they still don't come up for pets, so that's okay. I'm working with them, and that's kind of what I expected given their circumstances. So yeah. So, something else we did. Oviraptor got her nails trimmed. I did not film it. I did not record it. It was not as entertaining as last time. Last time I cleaned her nails, and as I was cleaning her nails, there wasn't any cut or anything. She was screaming and like, oh my gosh, what is going on? Yeah, you're just cleaning your nails, dear. And then she was fine when it was cut, but she just made a fuss. But she made a fuss over being turned kind of on her back, and she's like, oh no, whatever's going on. And anyway, Oviraptor is one of the three chickens the only one that we cut the nails. The other two, they scratch just fine, and they wear them down just fine. I don't know if hers are longer because she's a different breed or because she is top on the totem pole. She will steal holes. So her sisters will dig holes that are theirs. And then after they are there, she will go and dig, she'll go like kick them out of their own hole and do her little dust bath. So I don't know if she's just not getting the use or because she's dominant or if it's just a different breed. And so there you go. So, but she was quite dramatic about that. We just use dog clippers, and we always have some cornstarch, which is it clots the blood. If we were to go into the quick, they have quicks like dog toenails where it's alive inside. But yeah, that wasn't an issue. Hasn't been an issue so far, so that is good. All right. Steve says in 4 years, when he becomes a pet, he'll need some cuddles during this time. Exactly. Yeah, that is actually a good reason. So good. Val says, good night, everyone. It's 4 a.m. I'm going to try and sleep. Happy New Year. Thank you for a nice chat. Happy New Year. And yeah, get some sleep. Hope you don't have to get up early tomorrow. Thank you for being on. Everybody's saying good night. And Andy Rabbit says, my thought about the rabbit is he still thinks he has to scarf it up before it's gone. What I always do is keep his feed dish full for a week or so, wait till he still has feed left the next day, then start cutting it back. Okay, so instead of, okay, that might actually make sense. Have you done that before? Like, is that something that you've done before? Because yeah, he's definitely scarfing it. He feels like he's hungry every time I give him food, even though he shouldn't be. So yeah, I might try that. Yeah. These are questions I have. If you guys have answers for that is good. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking is that he's scarfing it down because he's thinking he's not going to get more, but then it's like, no, you are going to get more. But yeah. Let him see he has all the feed he wants. Yeah, maybe that's it too. Okay. I'll do that. Thank you, Andy. Yeah, I'll do that and see how that goes. I mean, that's pretty much what we do with the girls. Is they got free feed until a certain amount, until a certain age, and then it just like slowed down, the feeder, and then I would give them. Usually, they didn't take much more than a cup at that point, but I would give them a little bit more and then kind of wean him back. So he just might needs to have that reintroduced. Because I don't know what they do there, if they just like flat out just cut the feed or have a progression. Yeah, he licks it clean. Yeah. Andy Rav says he just sees an empty dish and freaks out, probably. Maybe. Ed's back. Wendy went to bed, huh? How is she doing? I hope she's doing well. And I hope you're doing well. Yeah. Yeah, we're just talking about this little bunny having eating problems where he just wants to eat everything. I think he just doesn't know that he's going to get more, even though he is. Yeah. Steve says his prior home environment may not have been the best. Maybe he missed some meals. Yeah, I mean, they have a rabbitry. I don't know anything about like what they do inside, because they don't let people inside as a lot of rabbitries don't. But it started out as a 4-H thing and got bigger, and the teenage girl running it, and then her mom is the 4-H leader, so should be good. But the daughter definitely was very caring towards the animals, and able to pick them up and do whatever, and she poses them all that. But I don't know that side of it, so I don't know what happens in show versus meat, because I know she was showing a lot of them. Yeah, but they both seem to be knowledgeable, at least, so that's good. Andy Rabbit says he's got to forget he didn't have enough before. That's true. And Verna says that's why I check the bowls of my rabbits and make sure they have food at all times. 2 of them I only have to feed once a day. Yeah, when you have babies in there, it's a totally different story. When you have mamas and babies, that you keep it full all the time. Like, okay, you guys need to eat and grow, eat and produce milk, and eat and grow. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to do that. Thank you very much, Andy Rabbit. We'll see how that goes. Ed says, I'm doing okay. She is fine, just running back and forth between home and seeing her dad in the hospital and gaming. Busy. Hope her dad is doing well as well. Yeah. Andy Rabbit says, being with litter mates, it is a fight for food, and there is always the one that won't let the others get the fill. That is true. I know. So basically, I was choosing between 3 of the same litter, and he was the best looking meat wise. In fact, she chose between him and another one to keep back for breeding. And when we were looking at them, and she was posing all of them and all of that, and she's like, oh, and she's like, what? And she's like, she was kind of second guessing getting rid of him. But he was definitely, out of the 3, he was the biggest. They were all very sweet, so it wasn't a sweetness factor, and I made my decision based on bigness. Bigness is a word now. And yes, the other 2 were broken, and it would have been nice to have broken babies, but as Andy Rabbit explained to me before, if he truly is all black, he's not gonna have broken babies. I don't know, maybe there's one white hair on there somewhere. We'll see. Andy Rabbit says, now with Verna and her, walking by hers 100 times a day, hers probably won't have that happen. Yeah. When they have babies, I feed in the morning and at night, and I just fill it up both times, no matter how much is there. It very rarely goes empty. And that's when I have the issue of, usually when it happens, it's when when a mom is there and has tons of babies and I just fill it up all the time. That is when the dust buildup usually happens. And the food dust, because you're just putting so much in there that it's going to build up. So, so far, Risotto is liking her feeder enough not to vandalize it. So that's good. Yeah. Yep. Andy Rabbit says, sadly, no, Katrina, you won't get broken babies. Hey, there might be one hair, right? That's all we need. It's okay. I'm okay with that. I was thinking that would be fun, but that can be fun later. Steve, did you just look that up? He says bigness is a very rare word. It is much more unusual to talk about the size or large size than its bigness. So it really is a word. Yep. Hey, Scrabble, right? I used to play Scrabble with my grandma when she was still alive, and we played a lot. And she was Scrabble master. I have her old Scrabble dictionary. She has a Scrabble dictionary. And so there are words that I know that some of them I know their meaning, some of them I don't. And yeah, Scrabble words. Like AA is and it's a kind of lava. There you go, 2 points. Yeah. So anyway, guys, it is getting late and I have not eaten yet. I'm still drinking my tea. Maybe I should finish that, huh? You guys have anything else you guys want to talk about before next week? Next week, when we come up with names for the rabbit. Andy Rabbit says, when I have 2 rabbits in one cage that eat 3 times the amount of food, when I put them in their own cage, they don't eat as much after a week or so. Okay, so you're saying like a week is kind of the weaning period to say, oh, this is normal? We're finding normal, guys. Ed says, it may have been asked already, did you feel the earthquake today? No. Where was it? Where and when? There was one in Japan, but I am not in Japan. You have to look up the earthquake map, huh? Nobody asked that yet either. You gotta tell me where it was. It was in California? California. 4.1 by LA. That's really far away. Was that where it was? Long Beach. Latest earthquake map. Let's zoom in. Nothing by me. Looks like there was a 2.8 by Baywood, Los Osos, California. It's very far south. And a 2.9, the Geysers. That's pretty far north. And then this bigger one, 4.1, Rancho Palos Verdes, California. Nope, that is way south of where I am. I am San Francisco, California. It's in California. Yeah, so here is California. Hopefully it's facing the right way. This is the Pacific Ocean. This is the San Francisco Bay. And right here is where I live. There we go. There's my map. All right. Andy says, yes, I give them full feed after I move them to their own cage for a week. So no more than 2 weeks is really needed. Good. I will do this and report back next week. Yeah, California and Japan. Yeah. Ken, next week. Percy for persimmon fruit. That's a fun name. That's a fun name. So that's what I'm talking about is a fruit or a fruit themed name is what we're going with, which we'll talk about next week. And the reasoning for that is he's a different line, and his mommy's name is Pineapple. So can't be pineapple. There we go. Verna says, I will keep a bull for the buck, but pregnant and nursing cages will get a bigger feeder. Yep. Yep. Did you put your feeder together yet, Verna? The one that you were telling me about? Hopefully you're able to do that and it's good. I would like to get some sort of feeder extender for when they have babies. Like, because the feeders, like the standard rabbit feeder is only like that big. And when they have babies, when they have lots of babies, like it'd be nice to just rely that know that the feed is there and like have like a, I don't know, a gutter downspout to add on to that. Something. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if that exists or you just have to finagle one. But I have thought about that in the past of like, oh, wouldn't it be nice to have a bigger feeder so that, you know, if you're away for the day and you're going to come back late, they're not just like hungry by the time you come back. PV pipes that are rectangle. PVC pipes that are rectangle. Where are you going to get these? I've not seen these. Are they super expensive, like sewer pipe? Yeah. Britta says, I have to put the cage together first. I do have the feeders, but right now they are 3 bulls in a cage. That works. That works. I have not seen PVC pipes that are rectangle. Are they affordable? Andy Rabbit says, I learned that from a dog that was found. The lady kept a large pan of food full for the dog at all times. The found dog would eat and then throw it up, eat, repeat, and after a week or so, the dog learned. Okay. I learned what was the right amount. Yeah. The food was not going anywhere and started eating just what she needs. That makes sense. Steve says they are pricier than downspouts. I'd probably cut a downspout. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, like I said, you have that pseudo trash can that you throw things into and you're like, oh, I have a purpose for that. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah, Andy Rabbit, that is a good tip. And I'm going to work on that with him. It's not going to be that much work for me, but he'll be able to do that. And then hopefully here soon we'll have baby bunnies. Everybody cross their fingers and toes and eyes if you can. Hopefully we have baby bunnies soon and he's proven. And at that point, I'm still looking for a home for Parmesan. I know someone that has a rabbit, and I don't know that she wanted a second one, but I haven't checked with her yet as a pet. Yeah. Mirna, I gotta open up the thing on YouTube. I can't click on links. Hang on. All right, I muted myself so I can click on this thing. Look like downspouts. Huh. Interesting. She just did the link to the PVC square and rectangular. What are they used for, though? Interesting. All right. Well, now I know. Now I know. Thank you. Andy Rabbit says, I took a lid off a square cat litter bucket and made a rectangle that fit in the top of the J feeder to have it hold more food. Okay. Yeah, just kind of make something that falls into there and sets in there. Yeah, you could totally jerry rig stuff to make that work for sure, and then like attach it with wire to the top so it doesn't just flop over. I just haven't done it yet. I haven't done a lot of things, guys. All right. Well, I am thinking it's time for dinner because it's 8:20 and I haven't had dinner and my tummy is letting me know. Thank you guys for your help with all the rabbit stuff and all of that. And yeah. Oh my gosh, Orlando just came here. Orlando, we were just saying goodbye. Hello to everyone. Happy New Year. Happy New Year and welcome. If you'd like to ask questions or talk anything, maybe we'll do 5 more minutes. We'll do 5 more minutes just because you came on. How about that? But you have to ask questions or talk. Happy New Year. I'm glad you made it. Verna, so we were talking about rabbit feeder and extending the feeders when rabbits have babies because they get more food. And Verna says, yeah, you can do the same with a gallon milk jug. Yeah, you can do milk jug. You just want to, I think having the right like kind of square container would be good too. Yeah. Andy has feeders on the outside. Yeah, I do too. It just sat inside the feeder. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's what I was thinking about doing, Andy. Yeah, there's a lot of different ways to do that. So I think I was just wondering if like anybody made something for it because it seems odd to me that a rabbit feeder is so small because if you have a mama rabbit who has 10 babies, you want it to be a little bigger. So I don't know if that is that something that people just don't think about or they don't care or they're going to be in there anyway, but it'd be nice to have kind of a more long-term feeder for that when you have so many babies. Yeah, especially, if they're in with her their whole time growing, which mine aren't, except for the last batch of the season. Usually I leave them in there for a little bit longer, but yeah, you'd think they need that. Buster says, thanks and good night to all. Good night, Buster. We might be staying on for a few more minutes, but good night and you're welcome. Steve says, rectangular PVC, good for electrical conduit, used more in Australia. Okay. All good this time? No emergencies? How did your babies turn out? I want to know that at least. How did your babies turn out? Did you figure out the issue? Andy Rabbit says, I may have used duct tape. Hey, duct tape's good. Duct tape's good. I have a book all about duct tape. Ed says 11:20 here, but good night. Yes. Good night. Thank you for staying on here, Ed. And yeah, I'm hoping everything on your end is going good and continues to go good and Wendy's dad improves. There you go. No question like last time. Good. I do want to know how your babies are doing though. Like actually, maybe not how they're doing, but did you find out what the answer was after all of our discussion last time? Hopefully you did. Andy Rabbit says, I'm going to make some now that I have the metal brake bender. That sounds awesome. I was on a job site once, and there were these guys, and it was just like Mary Poppins. They had a truck, and they had a guy pulling something out of a truck, and it was a gutter. And he was pulling the gutter out of the truck and the length of the truck. And then he kept on going, and he kept on going, and he kept on going. And I was like, oh my gosh, are you Mary Poppins? And turns out they have a roll of sheet metal. There's a machine that they roll it through so that you don't get seams in your gutters. And you just roll it through it, and it crimps it into the right shape, and it can be as long as you want. And I just thought that was amazing. So be Mary Poppins, Andy Rabbit. No, that is awesome. And man, if you get a good like template for that, you might have a market for that too. That would be good to have marketable. Hey, this fits in this type of feeder. This fits in that type of feeder. Yeah. Andy Rabbit says, my dad is having his first eye surgery in the morning. I'm hoping it goes great and he can toss his glasses. Awesome. I don't know what kind of surgery, but I hope it goes well. And if he's tossing his glasses, it might be maybe LASIK. I don't know. Or cataracts. That's the other thing I can think of. That's kind of funny. It is funny. It is so funny because it makes you double take. You're like, wait, how long? I'm going to stand here. Oh, it's that. Wait, no, it's longer than that. What's going on? It was really funny. And then I went over, I peeked in the truck. I'm like, oh, okay, I get it. But brilliant, right? And they don't have to cart it on a huge truck. They just have to make it right there. It was hilarious. It really was. And I'm sure they get that all the time. Yeah, pretty funny. So, all right, guys, I'm going to call it a night. Happy New Year. And we have some videos coming up here, mostly garden oriented, subjected. Anyway, mostly about garden stuff this week. I don't know what Sunday's video is yet. I kind of have an idea, and I don't really know if I'm doing that way or this way. If you have not signed up for Katrina's kits, I will put that link on here again. Katrina's kits, again, is a members only Cook With Me live that we do monthly. And here is a link to the there's a video that explains all about it and all that. We will be making pear raviolis, and I'm going to be making it with pear butter. So if you have pear butter, if you can get a hold of pear butter, that's good. If not, canned pear, we can work with that. So that is what we're going to be doing. I need to think about part of the recipe before I put out the ingredients, but that will happen on Saturday, trying to get more people in. We've been doing Sundays, recent history. And so I want to get a few Saturdays in there, see if anybody who is not joining on Sunday will join on Saturday. And so it's going to be 11 a.m. Pacific time, Saturday, the 13th. Thank you, Steve, for putting that there. It's pretty set in stone. We'll see. PJ is going to be there. If it's just PJ and me, we'll know. No, so you're definitely, it's a lot of fun because there's no cuts. There's no outtakes because it's all in. And it's a lot of fun learning to cook, teaching to cook, all of these things. We have interactions. We have good people, and it's a lot of fun. So, yeah, Andy, I was wondering how they got the long seamless to the job. They don't get it to a job. They do it at the job. Absolutely. Steve's going to make some pear butter. Sounds good. I don't have a video for that yet. I next time I make it, I will make a video, but it might be a while because I have a lot. All right, guys, we're going to call it a night. Thank you for watching. And start thinking about names for our baby boy bunny. Fruit-themed names coming up. We're going to talk about that next week. So there we go. Andy Rabbit says, oh, pear butter, yummy. I just bought some pears. I should make some with them. Yes, you should. And if you join Katrina's kits, you will be using them. All right. Thanks for watching. I will talk to you guys later. and have a wonderful week and a Happy New Year. Bye.